The Wildcat Sports Club CNY Brewfest is coming up January 31st and February 1st at the New York State Fairgrounds. Taste your way through unlimited samples from more than 100 breweries. Now featuring hard ciders, seltzers, craft cocktails, and mocktails too. Grab your tickets now at cnybrewfest.com.
This is the Burdick Lexus and Burdick BMW postgame show.
Oh, welcome in. Yes, 77-69 the final. Couple of random technical free throws late by Kyle Cuff after whatever Micah Shrewsbury was mad about there. Moving screen finally getting called. I don't know, but that was like that was one of the weirdest coaches getting tossed I've ever seen. Neither here nor there. Didn't decide the game today. What decided the game was the defense of Kyle Cuff. And J.J. Starling finally get the ball to go in the basket in the last 10 minutes of the game or so, and a play or two there from Eddie Lampkin. But the Orange win it today, 77-69. We're going to have like boom, 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 boom. Rapid fire post-game show today. Rapid fire. Cruncher coming. Like, countdown to crunch time starts at 6:50. We're here to like 6:45. We're moving and grooving. 315-437-7644. Let's get the phone calls going now. Red Archery press conference coming shortly. Your calls, all that stuff. That Shrewsbury getting that was weird. Like, he's like, calm. I am going to get thrown out of the game. Goodbye. Very peculiar. That just, it has thrown me off at the end of the game. I don't know what to make of all that. All right, let's launch into it. We're going rapid fire today. Let's start with Pat. What's up, Pat?
Yeah, the energy was definitely better in the second half. Obviously, these slow starts are just something that you almost get used to. Obviously, part of the problem, I'm going to go back to something I said early in the year that Jeff Van Gundy said. Sometimes having a lot of depth can take the rhythm away, and especially on the offensive side, and oftentimes on the defensive side, having that team rhythm. And I think that actually that happened in the second half on the offensive end, but not on the defensive end when they went 4 minutes without a field goal, and it was right when Chapa went to the bench.
Yep.
I think probably most people like Matt Park said it best. Okay, and I don't always agree with Matt Park. I think he's too much of a homer for my own taste. But the bottom line is, he kind of middled his comment on some of the head scratching substitutions. And he pointed to Moore that, last game he thought Moore might get back in. He understood why he took him out. And I completely agree with that. I mean, we're not saying, and I think it was one of your promos or something stupid like that, like, nobody's saying Chapa should be playing 40 minutes. I mean, and the guys that are just being trolls, because nobody thinks that it should be 40 minutes of Chapa Moore. Mm-hmm. But it's just when your offense needs a spark, and he was actually having a decent game, put him back in the game. Did you feel that at all in the last? I don't think he came in the last 12, 13 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I don't believe once, whenever it was, when JJ came back in the game after that brief rest, 10-ish minutes left, until literally they took Lampkin out, I think, in the last possession for D. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong on this, Pat, that it was Carlos, Cuff, Starling, Majstorovic, and Lampkin that played. It was like 9, 10-ish, give or take, straight minutes together there down the stretch.
Yeah, I thought the defensive rebounding was obviously better, and they adjusted their defense on the threes. But I thought the offense stalled with Carlos, because now the defense for Notre Dame can just key on JJ like they did in the last possession where Syracuse got a horrible shot. That was a horrific set. We didn't move the defense, and if we were playing a good team, it would have cost us. But I will give Syracuse credit. They brought the energy. They didn't turn the ball over. They got the rebounds. They took good shots, but it's just still a work in progress. Obviously, when you miss 11 free throws, obviously the percentages went up at the end with Cuff. Mm-hmm. But they were 13 of 23 with under a minute to go. So glad to beat Notre Dame. I hate Notre Dame. I hate their coach. And you know what? The Dome showed up a little bit today, and we'll see what happens next round. Yeah,
sounded good. It felt like there was good vibes in the Dome today for the first time in a while, maybe all season. So that was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
there was actually students in the upper deck.
No.
Which is, it's been a while.
Yes, yeah, it has been. So good to see. Felt like, at least the atmosphere through the TV there, getting ready for the post-game show here, Pat. It felt, it didn't feel like 30, but it felt like a Syracuse basketball game there for a minute, which was nice.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, thank you, Pat. There is our guy, Pat. Phone lines open, 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. All right, we're off and cooking. Here's what we're doing. We're hitting a break quick. We want to be ready for Red's post-game press conference. We'll get that to you live in full, and we'll squeeze in as many calls as possible right up until 6:45 today. 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. Our Burdick post-game coverage continues next here on Cuse Sports Talk at ESPN Radio. What is up, chat? Thank goodness that went a different way there after the first 10 minutes. Look at the haze Tom Noy. I don't need to haze Tom. I found it silly when he said it. I was entertained. Yes, Tim Leonard was on the Notre Dame call. Their play-by-play guy is at the national championship game. So Tim Leonard tagged in. What was Shrewsbury clearly predetermined he was going to go get thrown out? Was that over the moving screen? What was he going off about? Oh, we could have done it real fast, right? Because it still needs to end by 6:45. That was weird because it flipped because he's not like a crazy yeller coach. In the second half, they missed. Second half, they were 16 of 28. Overall, 21 of 34. If you take Kyle Cuff out of the free throws, they were 11 of 24. Cuff went 10 for 10. Why did the stats just... What just happened? Yeah, don't take my stats away. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was really weird, Ryan. That was peculiar. Caitlin Clark is sitting next to Taylor Swift. What a moment in American history. Yeah, Mike, it's he didn't want to get teed up right away because he knew the game wasn't over. But then he's like, I'm going to go prove a point and get thrown out. It was very peculiar. That was very peculiar. Cuff's defense changed the game. Burden had 20. Finished 12 of 26 shooting. Tony Watch! Bubbles! Net rankings! No. But maybe. But probably not. The whole thing was weird, Zach. The whole thing was beyond peculiar. Kyle Cuff will save us all. Yeah, ACC. They're going to the tourney. The ACC tourney. Oh, they're not tied at 13, Frank. The Texans missed the extra point. That is the plan, Mike. That's true. If his sneakers matched, if Lampkin's sneakers matched, the Orange would have won by 30. What's up, YouTube? How we doing, YouTube? Yeah, Chapa was okay, Cuse. I agree. Yeah, transition, Peter. How about that? It's allowed. Syracuse had 14 fast break points. Craziness. It depends how the timing goes, Mike. This crunch game, we're feeling the crunch. It's early in the second half, Steve. Last 25 minutes of the game. Clearly, Frank. Well, they can play in the new Europe division. It'll be Syracuse, London, Barcelona, and like Munich. That'll be wild, right? He's like, what do you mean? That it is. We are back. We got you for approximately 23 more minutes. And by approximately, exactly! Crunch Hockey's coming later. Countdown to crunch time with Lucas, 6:50. We got to, pay the bills a little bit before then. We're going to, so call in now, 315-437-7644. Give a ring. I may interrupt you and say we go to Red Autry's post-game press conference. Not yet. Not yet, but soon. Soon, Red will be at the, I got eyes on the command station here, ready to make necessary moves and push buttons and do all the things. But Syracuse wins today 77-69. Phone lines available, as mentioned, 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. If you're wondering about the National Football League game, it's Chiefs 13, Texans 12. Texans just missed an extra point. They are getting late on in the third quarter. Final numbers today. Man, what is this now? This is the 10th of last 11 games between Syracuse and Notre Dame that's been decided by single digits. 11 straight 10 points or under. When it was 11-0, who had this coming? When it was 11-0, it looked like a disaster fest of an afternoon for the Orange. Syracuse trailed by as many as 17 in the first half. I think the good news today, that they won. What turned it today, obviously the second half, they outscored the Irish by 17 after halftime. But it was the last 5 minutes of the first half, give or take, that really turned things. All right, here is Red's post-game press conference.
In the game, I just thought, we showed a lot of heart. I thought we showed a lot of resilience. I thought our defense was the key, especially in the second half. We gave a 42 in the first and 23 in the second. We just grinded. We fought. To be able to, pull out a win like that after missing 13 free throws, it's just a credit to all of those guys. Everybody that stepped on the floor gave us something. Eddie, he's been huge for us, fourth double-double. I thought JJ, made some big shots when we needed him to make some big shots. That's what he needs to do. That's what he has to do. And I thought he stepped up big. I was happy for Elijah. He stayed with it. I thought he had a big impact on this game. Just being able to stay with it. Kyle Cuff, he always brings something. He comes in, he fights, he battles. And I can go all down the line of all these guys that stepped on the court. But I'm just so proud of the way they defended, the way they were tough, the way they were resilient, through everything that's going on right now. You couldn't tell whatever our record was. These guys came out here and they played hard and they played tough. And, and that's how it has to be going forward. Questions?
What was your message at halftime that led to the defensive intensity?
It was really, before the game, we talked about choices. Everyone has choices when you wake up in the morning. We talked about, you can choose to defend. You can choose to get the 50-50 balls. You can choose to make that extra run, that extra rotation, all right? And we all took a moment of silence and thought about that, and then when we came in the second half, they battled back. I said, you guys made the decision to start doing those things probably 10 minutes into the first half. We got to continue those going into the second half.
Obviously, Portland was really good in the first half. And you had Kazan and Kyle. How are they able to neutralize him in the second half?
Well, we made a little tweak. We started, giving him some extra attention, putting some extra help on him a little bit, kind of a spy. And, even with all that was going on in the first half, the biggest thing about Notre Dame is their ability to make threes. So even though he was scoring, they were twos. And we was just trying to get our offense going, all right? Get our offense going. Because if those were threes, it would have been the lead would have been a lot larger than it was. So it gave us some time to kind of fight our way back, even though, he had 22 at half.
In the first half, you did an unusual number of threes. 17 three-point attempts. changed in the second half? Was the number of threes in the first half not what you wanted, and then you talked about the change?
No, I mean, we have to shoot threes. That's just the bottom line. We have to shoot them. I thought a couple of them were not the shots that we want, but we got some off of, guys curling in, them shifting over, driving and kicking, so to speak, but just off the curls. We got some good ones. We got some good ones in the double team. They kicked it out, rotated it. I thought those were all good shots. And we have to take them. We can't take 12 or 13 shots and expect to win in this conference. You shoot too many threes. People shoot threes, and again, we shot 24 and we made 8. Just imagine if we didn't shoot those, we probably make 4. Right? That's the difference. So you got to shoot them.
What changed in the second half? It seemed like you go inside the line.
Once we got the lead to, within distance, 10 points, 8 points, I knew we had a size advantage, so I wanted to go inside and kind of slow the game down because our defense had really picked up, and Jair and Eddie did a really good job of passing or getting to the basket.
You mentioned that your offense was a little bit, and you put Jake on the game, and it allowed Jay to get off the ball, and you moved the ball a little bit better. That was the purpose of getting you guys moving a little bit more?
Absolutely. I mean, that was the purpose of us, when you talk about bringing in another ball handler like JC, a guy that can come in, and again, not necessarily look to score, but get people the ball and move the ball. And we knew we needed JJ. We knew we had to have JJ score the basketball this year, bottom line. He can't score it all at the point, all right? As you could see in the beginning of the game, he couldn't get anywhere, right? We tried to keep him in the middle of the floor. He had a lot of attention. So move him off the ball, let him come and get the ball and play that way. So again, that's the reason why, we brung in JC to be able to get people the ball, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. But the biggest thing I thought he did today, he defended. He had his best defensive game in a uniform today. I thought he did a really good job on Shrewsbury, running him off screens and making him take tough shots. And we hadn't had that type of success with Shrewsbury in the last couple of years.
What did you see from JJ in terms of his aggressiveness in the second half? He had 17 points in the second half. What did you see?
I thought when we got him the ball and a little bit below the foul line, it was a little bit easier for him to make some decisions. I thought he just stayed aggressive. He just kept going. And we need him to be that way. And I thought he kind of kept going, and he made big shots when we needed it, and it energized our guys. But I thought, just moving him a little bit, below the foul line, getting him the ball, I thought that helped him out a lot.
You talked about his resolve after Tuesday. You said that would never happen again. Can you talk about his resolve today, especially in the second half?
Once we got into halftime, before we went out, he said, we got this. He started. He knew what he had to do. Again, JJ is our leader, and he's starting to really kind of understand that and see that. And we have to have him stay aggressive no matter what. Sometimes the shots are going to be forced. We need him to take those shots. We need him to be aggressive, right? And the good thing about it is we're a good offensive rebounding team, so he gets a lot of attention. So I thought at the end of the game, I think we got 4 offensive rebounds. That was huge for us, right? But JJ, we're going to go as far as JJ. Again, he plays like Louisville. It's going to be hard for us to beat anybody. That's just the way it is.
Why did you feel like Peter down the stretch? I know he had to play a little bit more with Johnny out the last few. Down the stretch, he was in your closing lineup. What did you think he brought to that?
Peter is tough. He battles. I thought he was good in our short roll situation where we got it when they put 2 on the ball and he skipped out a couple of passes. He turned 1 over. Jair was in foul trouble, so that had something to do with it as well. But he knows how to play. He knows how to move the ball. He has a high IQ. He goes to the glass. Defensively, he gives you everything he has, and thank God he didn't give up an and one today. So that was, especially down the stretch with his hands. But he's just a smart, high IQ player.
How did this team impress you most today, Brad, in a situation you don't coach? It's not a call. It's not a play. It's how they play. Was all what's the thing that stands out?
I think their toughness, man. I think they defended. At the end of the day, that was, nothing else speaks louder than what, offensively our numbers are not great today. But you look at the defense to be able to hold a team to 23 points, especially a Notre Dame team that is one of the best offensive teams in the country and in our league. Their offensive efficiency is off the chart. You look at it, everything's excellent. So to be able to hold that team to 23 points, that speaks volumes. I just thought our toughness, and we finished plays today. We made it hard for them. We made them run the clock down a couple of times, and we got the rebound. We haven't had that type of defense in a while.
Would you still characterize Donnie at this point as day-to-day, or is it still more?
It's still day to day. I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of like when we had JJ. Like it can happen. We just don't know when.
Coach, were you thinking of fouling on three down the stretch of Burton potentially, and what's your thoughts there?
We talked about fouling. But it was so loud in there because we have a call, and then again, they couldn't hear the call, and then we got to talk about that. So, that'll be in our next film session. All right, we can't make that mistake again. But typically, we try to get fouls in those situations.
Time for two more. How much different was it preparing for this game with Starling and Burton? You with Starling, then with Burton, than it was the first time without either guy?
I thought we knew we had a good game plan going in. I thought we had, different options. Sometimes, you don't have sometimes you prepare for teams and you have limited options. I thought we had a couple of options. We actually got to option 2 in one of them. But, having JJ there, we knew that we can get some stuff in the middle. We knew he would draw 2 and we would get some shots. We knew we were going to get some threes just because of the attention that he would attract. So again, a couple of those curls when he's coming off, they shifted right to him, and we kicked it right back out. Those are stepping threes. That's just like a driving kick. So we knew we'd get some more scoring opportunities, and with JJ and in the lineup.
What was your view at the end of that, Coach?
I have no idea. So, but again, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, Red Autry's post-game press conference brought to us by RomanoCars.com. Last question was about what Micah Shrewsbury lost his ever-loving mind about there. I would love to know the answer to that. I don't know. I don't know. That was peculiar. Was it about the moving screen that had happened many minutes before that? Could have been. Could have been. It was moving. The screens were moving all day long, and they finally called one. That was a wild time to finally call it. But they certainly did lay a few interesting points. Red hit on there. Phone lines, as mentioned, are open at 315-437-7644. A few points that Red hit on there. JJ couldn't get it going at the point. That's why Carlos played more today. Carlos, he said, played his best defensive game. I'd echo that. Helps, certainly, that Notre Dame is not a big team. It allows you to play the 3 guards. It's as small as Syracuse possibly could be. They played a good chunk of the second half with Cuff, Carlos, and Starling. You can't do that against both teams. Was effective today. And go figure, Carlos got the biggest play he's had so far in his Syracuse career, was grabbing that rebound away from Tay Davis late. Starling finally got it going late. And then Cuff guarding Burton. That's the story of the game. Notre Dame started the game 5 of 6 from 3. Burton had 20 points at the same time that Syracuse had 20 points. Only gets 8 points after halftime and ends up shooting under 50%. I think at one point he was like 10 of 13. He finished 12 of 26. Kyle Cuff, man. Kyle Cuff was, in many ways, the difference of this game. Eddie Lampkin made some nice plays. He made some perplexing plays that he can't jump over a piece of paper, save for that one dunk, but yet another double-double today for Lampkin, 13 points and 11 rebounds. Orange take it today over Notre Dame, 77-69, even the record here at 9-9. All right, let's get our last break out of the way. We'll have about 5 minutes for calls before Crunch pregame when we come back after this. Phone lines available, 315-437-7644 for ESPN 44. Give a ring after this. Cuse Sports Talk, ESPN Radio.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio.
Oh, man. Yeah, that one on Cuff earlier was wild, Mike. It's also, you almost never see an illegal screen called at that point of the game, but, think about, it's just, he went about it so weird. If that had happened to Boeheim, and he hates the call, he loses his mind immediately. To wit, the Jacket Duke game. But oh, man. Man, Mahomes is flopping all over the place right now. Hello, the Chief. Yeah, he held it in, but it's just like it was a weird way to do it. It was very peculiar because he went from like 0 to he didn't go from 0 to 60. He went from 0 to like 300. You could see his assistants were like, "Wait, whoa, uh-oh, so, go get him, go get him." We don't know for sure. I don't know, Zach. Travis Kelce has scored a touchdown. Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift are hugging. America. Yeah, Cooper Flag's really good. What is the announced attendance today? What did they call the attendance in the Dome today? 20,842. 20842. Yeah, Cuff was 10 for 10, Orange 22, so 11 of 24 for everybody else. I was so confused after the Cuse game on they were talking about Flag so much on and Duke so much on Tuesday. I just assumed it was the game that was coming on next on ACC Network after the Cuse game. Then it was like, here's Wake Forest or whatever it was. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. What? We can, Mike W. We can hang with the bottom of the league. Go team. Yeah, the students like their Blizzard game with their white shirts or whatever the heck they call it. That's a fact, Mike. I'm still annoyed Zion didn't play in the Dome game. I actually did want to see him play in person, but it was right after his shoe exploded.
Is the Burdick Lexus and Burdick BMW postgame show.
Oh, that it is. We got about 5 more minutes with you tonight before we turn the controls over to Lucas Favali. Countdown to crunch time. Crunch hockey coming up. Puck drop 7:05 tonight. If you'd like to get a last call in, now's your chance. 315-437-7644. We're kicking it in the chat on Cuse Sports Talk on the Twitch. On the YouTube, we are wherever you want to be. We will be here, and by we I mean me. I will be here on Monday. So I know holiday and whatnot. Where there's crunch in the middle of the day, so a lot of our regular shows won't be on Monday. But I'll be with you guys at 4. We expect to hear from both JJ Starling and Felicia Leggett-Jack on the show on Monday. Felicia and the women host Boston College in the Dome tomorrow at high noon, a game you can hear right here, go to in person, or watch on ACC Network. All of them are good options. Again, phone lines open. Last couple minutes, we can squeeze one in. 315-437-7644. Just a nice win for Syracuse, man. You're down 17. It was 11-0, and the team looked like they weren't like awake. It looked like they thought the game tipped at 4. It looked like they thought it tipped at 5 or 6 or in March. I don't know. And then finally, about 5 minutes left in the first half, they awoke. Kyle Cuff started guarding Burton. Eddie Lampkin, who I'm told played in the first half. Yeah. Looks like the guy that now has 4 consecutive double-doubles. In the second half, he went for 13 points and 11 rebounds today, 4 assists, including some delightful behind-the-back affairs at various points. And then JJ, efficiency was not their name today. He was 7 of 20, but he willed the ball in the bucket when it mattered. 21 points. His free throw shooting is, oh boy, yeah, there's a hitch in the giddy-up. He went 4 of 6 from the line. The Orange somehow win this game going 21 of 34 from the line, 61%. Kyle Cuff, 10 out of 10. Everybody else, 11 out of 24. Everybody else, 11 out of 24. Just, man, oh, man, oh, man. Not good today, I thought. It's amazing they won the game with numbers like that. Time for a quick call here if you'd like to end it at 315-437-7644. Again, Crunch Hockey coming up momentarily. Marcus Burton was fantastic for Notre Dame with 28, but he had the hot early start. He had 20 early until Cuff got on him. And funny to say with Kyle Cuff, this is Burton size. Cuff, not a tall fellow, but he was bigger, at least bulkier, than Burton today, and was able to deal with him in that manner. So that was interesting to see that Kyle Cuff was utilized for his size in a big way at the guard spot. Go figure. Go figure today. And Braden Shrewsbury, who had been averaging 6 threes a game against the Orange, was held to 2 today. All right, let's get one last quick one in. We got Chris in Pulaski. All right, Chris, just a few seconds left. What do you got?
Kyle Cuff. A lot of people don't realize that kid's got a national championship under his belt. He's from Harlem. He knows how to play ball. He has been the heart and soul of this team. And for him to be able to be on the court, like Red said the other day, he made him put him on the court.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to continue that. He is, if you would ask me, he is a captain of that team next to JJ.
Yeah, he's become, I think, the most easiest to root for guy on the team. That's for absolutely certain. Absolutely certain. And frankly, he won the game today.
He did. Last year, I don't know if a lot of people remember this. There was a few spots in games where he had a put-back dunk. He had a nail-down 3. There was a few sparks that we got from him last year. So coming into this year, I think having him on the court is a big plus. And, when you got JJ healthy, it definitely helps. I'd like to see Donnie get back on the court soon, so hopefully we can continue this ride. And I got to tell you, stay confident in this team. This team has something going on. They're trying to win together. They're all scorers. So to be able to get that camaraderie and put themselves together, it's going to take some time. But I think they're getting into the groove right now. So keep an eye on these boys.
We will do that, Chris. All right, thank you for the call there, and that is going to bring an end to it here today. We got Crunch Hockey coming up next. The Orange win it today, 77-69. I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Full lineup on Tuesday, including the return of Newhouse afternoon. With that, countdown to crunch time is coming up right on the other side here. We'll get you to Lucas Favalli in about 4.5 minutes time from now. I'll see you guys on Monday right here on Cuse Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.
Hey, this is former Syracuse basketball player Atan Thomas.
Last season, the Syracuse Center became the first Orange